Welcome to the show, everybody. Today is part 2 of the NFL mock draft.
There goes that man's jockstrap. Oh my God, did you see that?
America's team? Yeah, right.
Oh, baby, it's a big day in sports. There's nothing like battling it out with your teammates all season long to go win a championship.
Green Bay's got it this year.
Huge move for them. I think it's going to be a game changer.
We have a lot to talk about this busy week in the sports world. Welcome to the In a League of Their Own podcast.
All right, everybody. Again, welcome to the show. For those of you who tuned in yesterday, we started our mock draft for the NFL. We did picks 1 through 16. So we're going to be finishing up the first round here, 17 through 32. So jumping right into it, number 17 pick. Currently, the Raiders have that spot. What do you have going on at 17?
So for 17, I have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting cornerback Caleb Fairley from Virginia Tech. This guy is one of the top cornerbacks coming in to the draft of his top class. Only thing that the one question mark I do have about this guy is that he did have a back procedure early in April. And that's why his stock, I feel like, has maybe dropped in the last few months or weeks since it is April still. So a couple weeks ago, he had that surgery done. Yeah, I really think that they're going to take him. Gruden's kind of, I don't know. He said that he was pretty much going to change everything up, and he did by pretty much action the whole line. And I could see him bringing in this young guy who could potentially be around for years to come.
Yeah, I kind of went with a similar mindset for the Raiders. That whole team is kind of still rebranding itself. Obviously, just moving to Vegas a year prior. So, obviously, a lot of potential for them. And when you got John Gruden as your head coach, you're gonna have a raw team. Him trying to develop a winning culture, that's for sure. So, kind of going off of that again. I kind of went with the defensive mindset as well. I got the Raiders taking Micah Parsons, top-rated linebacker out of the draft. Again, just adding some firepower to that defense. The offensive side does have some young stars. Derek Carr kind of getting, age-wise, he's in his prime, but it seems like he could be done within the next 3 to 5 years if things don't go right. Obviously, him and Gruden have a good relationship, but like I said, Gruden's about that winning culture, and if Derek Carr can't win them football games, then I could see him on his way out here in the next couple of years. So, and just with John Gruden's prior, I guess, mindset and just kind of his defensive grit, I see him going out and getting, like I said, top-rated linebacker out of the draft.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Hopefully Micah Parsons being the stock that he is, hopefully he doesn't fall to 18, but yeah, I could definitely see him fitting there if he does slide that far. Who do you got at 18?
So 18, I got my first trade pick of the day here. The Dolphins currently have the 18th pick, as well as the 6th, which again that they acquired from the three-way deal with the Eagles and the Niners. I got the Dolphins trading their pick to the Steelers in exchange for the Steelers' 24th pick, and the Steelers give up their 87th pick as well. So the Steelers' 18th pick, I got them taking Najee Harris out of Alabama. The Steelers just they let Connors walk this past year. Again, Le'Veon Bell has been removed a couple years as well. They need to go out and get a stud at running back to kind of fill that void. They have a lot of firepower on that offense. Aside from him, they got obviously Juju Smith-Schuster, Johnson, Claypool, some notable young guys in the league with the receiving core, and then you got Big Ben under center. So really, the biggest part of that firepower offense is missing a good running back. So yeah, I got them taking Najee Harris, trading up to the 18th pick.
Yeah, I could definitely see that 100%. Najee is, I think, no doubt the top running back coming out of this draft class. So, Yeah, I could. That'd be a great fit. 18. I have the Dolphins sticking with their 18th pick. Um, I have them going out and getting defensive lineman from Miami, Gregory Rousseau. This guy's NFL ready. He did very good last season, and he's got some very good stats. They did lose some defensive players, obviously, because every team was put in that cap crunch this year due to the numbers and the cap going down from COVID. So I could see them going out getting this young guy for cheap who's out there and is going to be ready from day one to go get him.
Yeah, I mean, Dolphins definitely their defense needs a little bit of a rebuild. They did get Kyle Van Noy last year from the Patriots, but then I think he got released, if I'm correct, and he's still a free agent. He hasn't re-signed with the Dolphins or signed elsewhere either. So um, really, after that, you got what's his name, cornerback. He had like 10 picks last year from the Dolphins. Had a great year. Young guy, can't think of his name at the moment, but he's kind of the face of that defense right now. So yeah, going on, getting and beefing up their defensive line, helping with the run game is definitely a good move for them as well. Moving down to the 19th pick, the Washington football team currently hold that spot. What do you got going on at 19?
At 19, kind of interesting here. I have Najee Harris going to the Washington football team at 19 here. Their quarterbacks kind of are in question. Obviously, I don't think they're going to make a move this season. I'm pretty sure they're planning on taking a quarterback next year to follow after Fitzmagic probably will win the starting job this year and probably play one of his last seasons as well in the NFL. So I could see them taking Najee Harris, get the running back, get him established so that year two, when you get a top of the line quarterback, I'm assuming that that's what they'll do is go trade up and get a guy next year. They'll have the 1-2 young guy, quarterback, running back, and hopefully that they can turn things around on the offensive side in Washington. They were close. I mean, they did make it to the playoffs and they lost to the Bucs. They gave them a good game, but I feel like Najee Harris on what he can do in the pass game and in the run game will really help the Washington football team here going forward.
Yeah, I mean that obviously a good landing spot for him in Washington. Gibson is currently kind of the number one guy who they just drafted last year. Had an admirable rookie season. I don't think he broke 1,000 yards, but I think it was pretty close, like 800 or 900. But again, that's a team kind of struggling to establish their identity on the offensive side. The defense is definitely kind of the focal point when you got Montez Sweat and Chase Young, uh, two the best young edge rushers in the NFL right now, holding together that defense.
Don't they have Ryan Kerrigan as well?
I know he that's where he spent most of his career. I assume he's still there. I'm not exactly positive though. But yeah, so kind of with my pick at 19, I got Washington keeping that pick as well, and it'll be interesting to see. I agree that Fitzmagic right now would probably have the edge in that starting position, although Taylor Haney looked good last year as well, with kind of him and um, Haskins kind of trading or switching games back and forth there. It's always young for two young quarterbacks to be sharing that starting role and both get good production and both get good confidence. So when he was in there, he made good moves. Obviously, uh, drove them to a playoff appearance, and honestly put up a decent game against the Super Bowl champion Bucks. They only lost by I think 8 points is whatever, or 8 or 9 points. So it's really a one possession game and a couple plays that really determined that game. So um, the if Washington had a little bit of a better offense and some more firepower, that game could have been closer and Washington could have ended Tom Brady's run early on. So, kind of going with the offensive side there, I got Washington taking Elijah Vera Tucker, offensive tackle out of USC. So again, whoever is going to be that quarterback for Washington, need to protect the guy. They're a year removed from having Trent Williams. Trent Williams went over to the 49ers now. Amazing tackle. So I think that they go out and find his replacement and Vera Tucker.
Yeah, could definitely see them beef up that line there. So down at 20, you got the Bears. Who do you got them taking?
I got kind of a wild card pick here. There's been a lot of controversy around the quarterback position in Chicago. Both them trying to go and get Russell Wilson. They get their pick shot down with their offer of 3 picks and 2 stud defensive starters, Kyle Fuller and Akeem Hicks. I think that they're going to test Mr. Red Rifle. I got the Bears going out and getting Mr. Kyle Trask, quarterback out of Florida. Again, kind of a wild card pick for them to go out and get a quarterback, even though they came out and said, "Oh, Dalton is our QB1. We're kind of invested in him." But also, Dalton is kind of in that same boat as Fitzmagic. He's been in the league for a while. Hasn't really done a whole lot. I could see him being on his way out of the league in the next couple of years. I could see him going after the next best QB that would be available at 20 in the draft, which in my opinion is Kyle Trask. He comes in, sits under Dalton for a year or two, or gets the nod halfway through the season if they're struggling. Yeah, Kyle Trask. That's where I got the Bears at for 20.
Yeah, that'd be a shocking pick if they did that. Just for the fact that Andy Dalton hasn't done much in his career. So I'd be blown away if they'd bring in a rookie to learn under his tendencies. But that, yeah, I mean, you never know. You never know what is possible on draft day. I have the Bears taking cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. from Florida State. Them losing Kyle Fuller, and then they did sign Desmond Trufant in free agency this off season. However, he's kind of old and he's not really that good. So I see them going out and getting a guy who's going to start for him and have a chance to develop and become maybe a potential shutdown corner in the league.
Yeah, definitely a good move for them with them keeping Kyle Fuller. Will Fuller is a receiver. With them keeping Kyle Fuller, I definitely think Samuel would I could see Fuller kind of taking him under his wing and learning and jumping right into the league. He seems like he's definitely one of the top cornerback prospects in the draft this year. So I could see him jumping in and being productive, being a starting cornerback right out of the gate. As after Fuller, you don't really have a whole lot of other household names on that defense in the secondary.
Yeah. Did you say Kyle Fuller was still on the Bears?
Is he?
No, he got traded. They let him go due to cap reasons.
Oh, where did he end up?
He's on Denver now. He's on the Broncos.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be his new team going forward here from 2021 on.
Well, then that makes even more sense to go out and get Samuel with losing a guy like that. Yeah, I didn't know he got traded. So that's crazy.
Yeah, for cap reasons, that's why they offered him in the trade for Wilson, was to free up some of that cap space because him and Hicks have a lot of money, and obviously they want to try to keep Khalil Mack for as long as they can, or trade him for the most value that they can get out of him, like when the time's right. But yeah, they had to get rid of him, and then the Broncos signed him for like a 1 year, like $9.5 million contract, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, good for both parts. I mean, Kyle Fuller getting to go to a new team. The Bears have kind of been stuck in that same spot for how long now? Hopefully Denver goes and gets himself a quarterback, and hopefully he finds himself on a winning team here.
Yeah. Moving down to 21, the Colts currently hold that pick. What do you got the Colts doing?
This is where I have that Elijah Vera Tucker going, the O-lineman from USC. They just brought in Carson Wentz, so I feel like it's in their best interest to get a tackle, especially a guy that's going to be protecting his blind side. So go get a top guy out there and get him some protection and see what Wentz can do.
Yeah, definitely getting Wentz some better protection. It seems like that was kind of one of his issues when he was in Philadelphia with his injuries, not getting good protection, not making the best decisions with the ball. Yeah, going out and getting Carson Wentz protection in Indy is definitely a good move for them on that offensive side. Um, you have Quentin Nelson, who's one of the best guards in football as well. So, um, yeah, beefing up that line is definitely a good move for them. Uh, the way I kind of went, I actually went to the defensive side. Um, Offense has a lot going for them. Again, Quentin Nelson kind of being the leader on that line. You got Jonathan Taylor, who had an amazing rookie year, Carson Wentz, who hopefully is going to have a bounce back year, and then T.Y. Hilton as well, kind of on the offensive side. So I got them taking Quiddy Payne, edge rusher out of Michigan, to help with that run defense. You got Darius Leonard, who is just a ball hawk on the defensive side, great in coverage and an amazing run stopper. So to kind of take a little bit of weight off of his shoulders, and so that he can kind of play his own game and not I mean, he's still going to be the leader of that defense, but like I said, just to take a little weight off his shoulders, I think going out and them getting an edge rusher is a good move for them.
Yeah, I definitely could see that being a thing too. I just feel like personally the Colts defense has kind of made them their team over the last handful of years. Obviously, they've had a good line, but they did lose a couple guys. So I don't know. It's interesting to see what they're going to do. Obviously, they re-signed Ty, brought in Carson Wentz, so it's going to be interesting to see really what the general manager's plan is going forward with that team.
For sure. Moving down to 22 here. This is where I have my second draft trade happening for the bottom 16 picks. The Titans currently hold that pick. I have the Titans trading their pick to the Seahawks. The Seahawks do not have a number one pick currently. Their first pick is like 58, 50 something along those lines. So like midway through the second round. I got the Seahawks trading up and giving up their 129th pick and a 2022 second round conditional pick. And I got them going out and getting Jackson Carman, Clemson offensive tackle. They're going to go out and try to get Russell some protection. I know that's kind of one of his concerns with staying in Seattle. I think getting halfway through the second round, you're going to have a lot of offensive line talent gone at that point. So what little that they do have to give up this year, they give up one of their 3 picks to move up, and then they end up giving a 2022 pick to kind of settle the deal for them.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. That's funny that you said that. You'll have to see what happens during my next pick at 23 spot. I for the 22 spot, I have the Titans staying put. Them losing Jadeveon Clowney, them bringing in Bud Dupree, who's a veteran, very good guy. I have them drafting Jalen Phillips, defensive lineman out of Miami. Dude, Titans definitely have lacked pass rushing in the last couple seasons. Everywhere else on the field has been unbelievable, but it seems like the quarterbacks that they're facing have too much time to do something. So I could see them going out and getting this guy, as he's probably one of the most explosive edge rushers in this draft, hands down.
Yeah, I'm Titans defense is slowly making a name for themselves. So I think going out and adding some more to that, I could see them, if they make the right moves and end up going and getting an edge rusher, they could have a top 10 and a top 10 offense and defense this coming year. So yeah, definitely a good move for the Titans if they decide to do that. Going down to 23, I'm interested to see what you have to say about the 23rd pick.
Yeah, so 23, I have the Jets trading out to Seattle for their pick and a conditional second. That's funny that you said that. And I have them taking Christian Darrisaw from Virginia Tech, the offensive tackle building up that line, like you said, for Russell, as that's kind of been his one knock on the squad. I see them, making a play to go make a move to try to make Russell happy. So I had the Jets, trading out at 23 to the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's funny. Kind of had literally one pick off of having kind of the same idea there. I think I had Dershaw. Yeah, I had Christian Dershaw going to the Vikings at 14. So yeah, that's why I had Carmen at 22. He's kind of the next best available offensive tackle at that point for me. For me, a 23rd pick, I got the Jets staying put with Robert Salah coming over as the head coach. Raw dude from the 49ers, defensive coordinator over there coming in, obviously going to have a defensive mindset. I think he goes out after getting Zach Wilson in the one to kind of find the leader on the offense. He goes out to beef up the defense with J.C. Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina. Again, that defense was one of the worst, if not the worst, point differential last year as far as points given up versus points that their offense could put up, which their offense couldn't put up a whole lot either. But at the same time, if your offense is struggling, if your defense is good, it keeps games close, and that case for the Jets hasn't been the case the last couple of years. So their pass defense definitely needs some help, and I think Horn would be a good addition to that defense.
Yeah, definitely with a defensive-minded coach coming in, you'd think that he'd probably like to build up that defense. So then you got the 24 spot, the Arizona Cardinals. What do you got happening there?
Is that the Cardinals? That was the Steelers pick.
Oh shit, that's right. On mine, I had them trade. They traded on mine from yesterday. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had
with 16.
Yeah, the Steelers. Yeah, I had the Steelers taking the 16th, and then they moved. I just want to go back in my notes here just so I can relay that information of what actually happened there. So yeah, Steelers swapped with the Cardinals, 16th for the 24th, and the 55th, and the 22 second round. So yeah, that's why I have I have that. It threw me off that you said that. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I had them trading.
Well, either way, for me, I don't have the Steelers at the 24th pick either because I had the Steelers trading up to 18 to get Najee Harris. So that means that the Dolphins have the 24th pick. Dolphins, I got them going on to getting Travis Etienne, running back out of Clemson. Tua needs some help on the offensive side there. He's got a young receiving core, which I had them picking up Devontae Smith with their 6th pick. Again, beefing up that defense or that offense is a good move for them there. They got some guys on that defense kind of holding down the fort. Again, that cornerback who I can't think of his name, who had like 9 or 10 picks last year. They need some help with the run game. I think Travis Etienne would be obviously after Najee Harris is the next best available guy for them to go after there.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening there. I have, like I said, I have the Cardinals with the 24th spot after trading with the Steelers. I had the Cardinals taking linebacker Jamin Davis out of Kentucky. Dude's so versatile on the defense. He can play multiple different positions, and it seems like the Cardinals kind of have an eye for developing defensive talent. Like they did pick Tyrann Mathieu. Look at what he's now. Isaiah Simmons, same thing. I really think they have a really keen eye for developing defensive players. So I could see them taking this rover linebacker / edge rusher type player, and I could see him being very useful for Arizona this year, especially since their division is one of the top and most athletic divisions in football. It never hurts to bring in a really athletic guy who can kind of fucking do it all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, on the offensive side, the Cardinals are sitting pretty good. And even on the defensive side, obviously they got J.J. Watt, like you mentioned, a couple other guys that they have as well. So Yeah, the Cardinals, as they sit right now, are going to be a team to watch out for this year in the West. I can see them. Like the West is going to be interesting this year because the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Cardinals are all going to be probably within a game or two of each other at the top of the division. So it's going to be interesting to watch this year.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely going to be really fun.
Moving down to the 25th pick, the Jags also hold that spot. What do you got the Jags doing with at 25?
I kind of feel like this is a no-brainer, going out and getting the top receiver that is left out there on the board, Kadarius Toney, out of Florida. There's no point in going to get Trevor Lawrence at 1 if you ain't going to give him any weapons to throw the ball to. So you got to go out and get this guy. Kind of a perfect fit, as he is a pretty good route runner. He's got some speed. He's got some pretty good hands. And him being used to Florida, keeping him down there definitely helps as far as the environment and all of that goes. So I definitely see them kind of no-brainer going out there and giving Trevor some help there.
Yeah, I mean that kind of team as a whole is still in its rebuilding stage. We both kind of talked about how it'd be awesome to see them kind of turn things around in 1 year, and obviously, like you said, going out and getting the best quarterback in the draft, you got to give them somebody to throw the ball to. Which I kind of went a similar route with that as well. And looking at it, I had 24 and 25, both back-to-back running back picks. So I got the Jags going out and getting Trey Sermon, running back out of Ohio State. Again, kind of a bruiser guy. Was kind of the, I guess the number one guy along with Teague in Ohio State. Both larger guys, Sermon being kind of the smaller, quicker, more agile guy. Again, giving Trevor Lawrence somebody to turn and hand the ball off to, and even the running backs have to kind of do it all and run routes as well. So, yeah, I got Trey Sermon going to the Jags at 25.
Yeah, I could definitely see that too. Like you said, beefing up that offense, helping out Trevor Lawrence. It's the perfect time to go do it now when you're in that rebuild stage.
Yeah, especially because the Jags, all they have is Ozigbo. is their really their running back one right now, and last week or whatever that was we were talking about, we literally had to look it up because we couldn't think of a Jags running back, and Ozigbo was the only one that both of us were like, oh yeah, I think we've heard of him before. So obviously, yeah, going on and getting somebody that's recognizable and has shown that he can get it done at the college level. Yeah, good move for them if they decide to do that. 26, the Browns. I have the Browns staying put, keeping their 26th pick. After getting rid of Kirksey, Demarius Randall kind of went out the door as well. He's in Seattle. Really, Myles Garrett is kind of the leader of that defense right now, along with Denzel Ward at the secondary end of things. So I got them finding a guy to fill the middle. I got them going after Azeez Ojulari, linebacker out of Georgia. Georgia, after taking kind of a step down the last couple of years, after being in the college football playoffs, their defense has been stellar. Obviously the focal point of that team, and Ojulari is kind of the captain, the leader of that defense the past couple of years. So I think it'd be a great addition for the Browns to go out and take another crack at a top running or a top linebacker out of the draft and kind of see how he fits into their scheme.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the defensive side of the ball as well for the Browns. I have them taking Christian Barmore, defensive lineman from Alabama. With them bringing Clowney in as well on that defensive line, so you have the edges covered with Garrett and Clowney. Then in the middle, you have Sheldon Richardson. You also have Malik Jackson. I feel like you bring this guy in who's a very good athlete and has tremendous upside. I feel like he could be that perfect fit. Like Malik Jackson and Sheldon Richardson are kind of getting up there. They've been in the league a little while. I could see them loading up on that defensive line and kind of having an unstoppable defensive line holding down the defense.
Yeah, I mean, all those names you mentioned are all star caliber guys for a run stopping defense, and if you have a steel wall, that that basically is going to be forcing teams to pass, and even at the passing end, all those guys you mentioned can all get to the quarterback as well. So yeah, that's definitely a strategic move for them, to go out and beef up that D line even more. Um, Yeah, so moving down to 27, the Baltimore Ravens currently have that pick. What do you got the Ravens doing?
I have the Ravens staying there. Since they lost Judon to New England, they need a linebacker now since they they have a huge hole to fill in the open. So I have them taking Zaven Collins, the linebacker out of Tulsa. This guy's a good dual style linebacker, good in the pass coverage and a good run stopper. He's more in the pass game, which kind of has been Baltimore's like downfall as of late. There always have been a great run stopping team. However, the pass defense has been a little bit weak there. So I have them taking Zaven Collins there, the linebacker out of Tulsa.
Yeah, it's funny. I had the same mindset with Judon leaving. The defense, definitely, the Baltimore defense has been a focal point of that team for decades. Since Ray Lewis came into the league, the Baltimore defense has been one of the most feared defenses again for 1 or 2 decades. So, but yeah, with the loss of Judon, they're gonna need somebody to replace him. I got them going on and getting Jason Owe, Penn State edge rusher, again to help with that run stop. Um, Agile guy for getting to the quarterback as well. Like you said, with their pass defense needing some help as well. So, yeah, kind of some similar points you said. They got to go out and find a replacement for Judon and somebody on the defensive side, either a linebacker or an edge rusher. It would definitely be a good move for him.
Yeah, agreed. The New Orleans Saints, them Saints,
Them Saints.
28. What do you got?
So I got the Saints. Beefing up their defensive side. A lot of offensive firepower, so I don't really see a whole lot that they need to do there. I got them going out and getting Asante Samuel, cornerback out of Florida State. Um, as good as that defense has been, especially when Drew Brees has been injured the past couple of years, and now with him retiring, that defense is going to have to step up even more to kind of keep that team on the map, especially being in the NFC South with the Bucks, um, and kind of with how good the rest of the NFC is. Um, the Saints, I don't see them getting into the playoffs unless they can somehow win that division with Tom Brady there, which is going to be a tall task for them. So it'll be interesting to see how they do this year. I kind of see them taking a lull, maybe missing the playoffs for a year or two, and kind of rebuilding that team back up, and probably hoping for Brady to retire so they could kind of get back to this top of the South there. So, yeah, I got them taking Samuel, kind of beefing up that secondary.
Yeah, I've stuck along those same lines with the Saints. Their corners have been pretty good, actually very good, with Lattimore holding it down mainly on one side of the field. I have them taking safety Trayvon Morig out of TCU just for the fact that Malcolm Jenkins is he's another year older, and their other safety that they got is playing on the franchise tag. So more than likely they're going to be moving on from Marcus Williams, the guy that took the franchise tag. So I could see them bringing in another safety, learn under Malcolm Jenkins as he's basically playing himself out of the league with his age. And I could see this guy stepping in. I've heard some early comparisons coming out on the guy, or people are comparing him to Devin McCourty type abilities. So I could definitely see them going to get him and him becoming a huge part on that back end.
Yeah. Either way, that pass defense needs a little bit of help. Like you said, Williams being on the franchise tag, Marshawn Lattimore, he's still there, right?
Yep.
So he's kind of turning into the vet on that defense, even though still a young guy. So along with who was the other safety? Jenkins.
Yep.
Like you said, he just getting older and older. The defense, or as the receivers and tight ends get bigger, faster, stronger. Being an older guy in the secondary is becoming harder and harder to do. So, yeah, definitely good for them to go out and get a young guy. Number 29, our Green Bay Packers. How do you got them fucking up this year in the draft?
Well, I do have them fucking up per usual. I have the Patriots staying aggressive in the draft, going for their third pick here in the first round. I have them trading up, giving away their 46th pick, their 177th pick, and a second round pick, potentially a third rounder as well. I have them moving up with the losses of Edelman and that type of offense being run basically off the tight ends and the slot guys. I have them taking wide receiver Rondell Moore out of Purdue. He's basically a mold of Julian Edelman, that small, fast type of guy, gritty, going to get the balls, going to catch it. So I have them seeing him coming in and being very dynamic as long as he can stay healthy. Obviously, the wheels kind of fell off Edelman for that reason, as being that slot guy, you're taking a lot of those hits coming across the middle and whatnot. But as long as he stays healthy, I could see this being a great pick for the Pats.
So very similar to kind of your mindset. I don't have the Packers fucking up. I have them finally doing something with their draft pick in the first round. Exact same guy, Rondale Moore. I got the Packers taking him at 29 as well. Again, Packers have basically not listened to their Hall of Fame quarterback, saying, "Hey, I need some weapons. Go and get me some guys." Rodgers has kind of shown some I wouldn't say disinterest, but he's getting salty towards the organization for the kind of their moves the past couple of years and how they treat him. I'm hoping that they go and make things right. And again, like you said, Rondale Moore fit into that slot role very well. The Packers don't really have a slot guy right now. They're all basically north of 6 feet tall, taller, lankier, bulkier guys. So for them to go out and get a smaller slot guy would definitely be a good move for them.
Yeah. I mean, I hope the Packers go do this. I just wonder where he would fit in on the roster of our receivers that we have, as Adams is pretty much that number one guy. Lazard has been number two, but now you got Devin Funchess coming back. MVS is right there too, who's a big target. And then you have also Tanyan and Sternberger becoming big targets for Rodgers. So I just don't see him fitting in here. And that's why I could see the Packers moving back, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, they have Equininius St. Brown. I could see if Rondale Moore comes in and proves he can be a valuable guy, I say they let St. Brown walk and he takes his spot on that receiver core.
Be the fifth guy.
Yeah. To be the fifth kind of situational slot guy, which they kind of use St. Brown for as well. Whenever Adams or Lazard needs a breather, that's the only time you see St. Brown on the field. But again, St. Brown's kind of a bigger guy. So I could see more being more of a 3 or 4 guy, even kind of being on the field again for those situational times when you need it's third and medium, third and short. You're not running the ball against a good run defense. You need a slot guy to make some quick shifty moves and get you a first down. So yeah, I agree though, kind of with the receiver core the way it is. He'd have to definitely come in and compete and show his worth, but I haven't seen a lot out of St. Brown that impresses me, so I could see him kind of taking his roster spot on that receiving core.
Yeah. You also got to kind of give him a little bit of slack here. James Jones the other day when he was on the Pat McAfee show said it took him roughly 4 years to get on the same page with Rodgers, as he's got all these different looks, had all these different signs And without the OTAs, especially being a young guy that for last season and this season, it looks like they aren't going to happen either. That's just one step further that all these young guys are going to be even further behind. So I don't think Rodgers, especially in the latent of his career, is going to want to have to bring in a guy that he's going to have to teach how to play. I feel like if he's going to want a guy, I feel like they should bring in somebody who's kind of like Funchess did, except for it sucked that he opted out last year because the guy's very athletic and he could play. Hopefully this year, maybe that's that firepower piece that we missed on the offensive side. I mean, he's been around the league. He knows how to play. That's the perfect. I feel like that's the perfect type of molding that would fit that, like our offense of the win now type. Like our defensive side, I know we're huge on, we're going to draft a guy, develop him, and hopefully sticks around. But we end up losing him anyway because they play out their worth and we just can't afford to keep them. So I say we stick with it and maybe, like I said, trade back and maybe get a guy and develop him for a couple years. Go get a corner. Go get a couple corners and see what they can develop into. I'm learning right behind Alexander. He's a great guy to set the bar for how he plays. He's one of the top corners in the league. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be interesting to see what happens there. Moving down to the 30th pick, the Bills currently have that spot. I kind of mustered on this one for a while just because the Bills are obviously a great team. That Bills Mafia defense, uh, obviously a stellar defense. And then on the offensive side, you got Devin Singletary, you got Josh Allen, and then them acquiring Stephon Diggs last year was a huge move for them. Um, I think that they go and get some more firepower for that offense. The tight end position is kind of one of those lulls on that team. So I got them going out and getting the second best tight end in the draft, Pat Fryermuth, Penn State tight end. Um, Very big, solid guy. He's great in the run block as well. He's kind of that good, like I more compare him to like a Mercedes Lewis, that than like a Gronkowski or a Kelsey that is very well a part of the pass game. Is not much as run blocking. So um, yeah, again, that tight end position is kind of a hybrid where they're kind of an extra tackle that you have on the field sometimes, and kind of seeing some clips on Fryermuth. He's again great run blocker, but then also being a tight end, you got to go catch some passes. So I think that'd be a good addition for them to go out at pick 30.
yeah, I have them sticking on the offensive side of the ball as well. I have them taking Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota. You did mention Stephon Diggs. I feel like they need another guy to play on the other side of the field that can draw some attention. They do have some other wide receivers who, yeah, they did get the job done, but they need a guy who's a big play threat. So I feel like they're going to go out and get him, a guy who's a veteran. He's definitely got some experience. Played a handful of years at Minnesota. He did very well. So I can see him stepping in and being the surefire number 2 out there in Buffalo for him.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a great move for them as well. Like you said, Stephon Diggs is kind of out there on an island by himself, which is even more impressive that he doesn't really have another all-star receiver on the other side of the field to take some attention off of him, and he goes out and still has a career year. So, um, yeah, it'd be great for them to go out and get some kind of offensive power to kind of counter him and open things up for that offense a little bit more.
And then with the last pick, the Chiefs, who do you got? Or never
Well,
mind, now with the last,
yeah.
I apologize. The 31st pick, who do you got?
Yeah, so I got the Chiefs going out and making a kind of a no-brainer move at 31, going out and getting Patty Mahomes some protection. The offensive line has kind of been dismantled. They had third and second and fourth string guys in last year with injuries. Some guys went out on free agency to other teams. So I got them going out and getting Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle as well as he played guard, so he's a movable guy. Out of Alabama, think it'd be a great addition for them to again get one of the biggest up and coming quarterbacks in the NFL some protection.
Yeah, I could definitely see that too. That was one of their main focal points from a lot of the Kansas City fans was how the offensive line play in the Super Bowl, basically all playoffs long, how Patty Mahomes had to run for his life basically on every play. I have the Chiefs actually, since they've basically kept the majority of their roster together, just like Tampa. I have them trading out of that 31st spot for the Giants. The Giants in my draft, I had the Patriots trading up and taking the Giants spot at, I think that was, at 11 to go get Micah Parsons. I see them I see the Chiefs trading with the Giants, who are going to have a few picks here later in the draft. And I think they're going to go get that linebacker out of Georgia. What was his name? Azeez Ujulari, the linebacker out of Georgia. I could see them going to get him, guy to learn on that veteran defense. Just a guy for when they do run into these cap issues where they can let somebody go and they have another young guy ready to step in for less money. So I feel they're going to continue to build that dynasty for years to come. Here, they're always going to be a contender as long as they seem to keep doing what they're doing and guys continue to take deals and they continue to work the books how they work the books. So I see them taking this linebacker, bringing him in, letting him learn, and then I could see them moving off from a guy that's going to end up costing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a great move for them as well. That defense, to like you said, they have a lot of vets, a lot of expensive guys, and eventually it's going to get to the point where they can't keep all of them. So, be smart for them to look ahead into the future and again have a replacement for like D Ford. I could see him kind of being on his way out in the near future if they can't afford him. So yeah, good move for them there. And then finishing up here with the last pick in the first round, Super Bowl champion Bucks. What do you got them doing at 32?
I have the Bucks trading off yet again, another team that kind of has kept that whole roster intact. So they already have basically what they need. I have them trading the Baltimore Ravens. I have them moving up and kind of making a similar move to what they did to move up to 32 to get Lamar Jackson. I have them moving up to 32 and taking Terrence Marshall, wide receiver out of LSU. Go get Lamar Jackson some help. Let him wing the ball. Let him start throwing it a little bit more. You got to get him some weapons on the outside. I know Marquise Brown basically is their only guy. Hollywood Brown, the only guy that basically was any sort of threat for him, and he was only a deep ball threat. You got to get a big guy with a big frame who can post up along the sidelines, go get the ball over the middle, those type of things. So I feel like that's what they're going to do. I feel like the Bucks are going to slide out and maybe take a couple future picks.
Yeah, like you said, they literally brought back all 11 offensive and defensive starters, which is impressive.
Well, except for AB, he's the only one that is still out in the looms.
Well, he's not a starter though.
Isn't number 3 wide receiver technically a starter?
2 technically, because it goes QB1, running back, receiver 1 and 2, tight end. So out of the 11, it's only 2 wide receivers that take up spots, which would be Evans and Godwin, or 1 and 2 there. So yeah, they have all 22 starters coming back, like you said. Like not a whole lot for them to do for that team, which is crazy to say for a reigning Super Bowl champions. Usually that team kind of gets dismantled where you kind of have all the cards fall right, where you get guys on some last year, their deals are 1-year deals, and boom, you get everything strung together perfectly, and then half the team leaves and goes elsewhere to get paid more. So the fact that the Bucks kept everybody is really impressive. Although I do have them keeping their pick, I got them going out and getting Christian Barmore, defensive tackle out of Alabama. The Ndamukong Suh is again, historical guy, kind of getting towards the end of his career. So that's why I feel like that they go out and get him or get Barmore with being towards the end of his career, could be done in the next couple years or get traded out again to his last team before he retires. So to have a young guy come in and learn from that amazing amazing defense would, I think, be a really good move for them. So yeah, that kind of wraps things up for the first round here. We won't be going into any really rounds after that, as it's all um, very conditional. There's a lot of picks that get moved around and stuff like that. So just want to break down the first round for you guys. And yeah, that was fun. Definitely look forward to doing this again a year from now, and it's kind of year after year, and see how each draft goes. So
Yeah, and we might even be doing something special for you guys around draft night. We might be doing a little something special for you guys. So
yeah, and then also non-football related, with the NHL playoffs just around the corner, where we plan to be doing a Stanley Cup playoff bracket challenge as well. So keep an eye out for that. We got some fun guys in store for you guys over the next month or two here, as we're kind of got ourselves established. So it's time to start involving the community a little bit more. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, we're excited to involve you guys into our content.
yeah, absolutely. That's one thing that we really want to do with this channel, is be really involved with all of you guys watching and listening, since you guys pretty much are the reason we do it. So yeah, keep on the lookout for that across all of our socials. We will definitely dive into that a little bit more as the time approaches here. But yeah, just stay tuned for that. And yeah, have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be breaking down kind of the last some news over the last couple of days around the sports world, and yeah, after that it'll be a weekend. We'll be back here on Monday. So see you guys all tomorrow. Have a good one.